The pre-shot routine is the key to calling up your golf swing. Once you've done all the exercises, once you've drilled your body and your mind to remember what it is you want to do, you've got to then carry this movement out without any conscious thought. And the pre-shot routine is the key to doing this correctly. The pre-shot routine contains three integral parts. The first part is simply a collection of information to make a club choice and a swing choice. Remember, you can do all kinds of combinations of swing on a golf course. You can just use system 1 to chip, maybe system 1 and system 2 to pitch, maybe a combination of 1 and 3 to chip or pitch, or you can use them all together in the full swing. Once you've actually decided, based on weather conditions, the lie of the ball, and the distance you are from the target, which club and which swing you're going to use, the next step is to decide if there's any special information to take into account. So in part 2, you're probably going to have to make a practice swing. This practice swing may just be to loosen your body, to get you into a position where your muscles are relaxed and ready to make a good golf swing, but it also might help you to judge how a hanging lie is going to affect the swing, or how much resistance the grass will give to your club when it passes through it if you're playing out of a bad lie. It's also possible in the short game to judge how much swing you're going to need. But again, this second part of the pre-shot routine is really about collecting information for what will be the final part of the routine of hitting the golf ball. In the final part of the routine, everything has got to work without conscious thought. That means that everything, including your stance and address position, has got to work automatically. And this would also mean to start off with exercising or practicing your address position without hitting a golf ball. If you can imagine taking your address position with the same row of movements every time, at some stage you have to take your grip. Whether you do that after you've stood to the golf ball or before you stand to the golf ball, as I do, really doesn't make any difference as long as it's the same every time. So what do you have to think about? Well, obviously, is the grip correct? Is the stance correctly aligned? Is the width of the feet correct? Where is the ball in the stance? How is the posture? What about the distance I stand away from the golf ball and the alignment of the club to the target? Will I use an intermediate target in order to help me align? I have to decide all these things before I get to actually hitting a golf ball. So I'll spend some time simply going through the routine. If you see my routine, I start with the club in my left hand. I pick it up, place the right hand on the ball and control the grip. I'll then align the club face, followed by my feet and feet width, the ball position. That will give me almost automatically a posture and let me know whether I'm close enough or farther enough away from the golf ball. Usually I'll then take a final look at the target and get a picture before I pull the trigger. I'll practice this daily, often with sticks on the ground to control whether I'm aligned properly. But when I actually get into the actual hitting of a golf ball, I don't want to be thinking about this whatsoever. Once I've got my alignment and my address position sorted out, the last thing I've got to be thinking about is how I'm going to control my thoughts. As we've said before, the trick to recalling a movement is getting a visual picture of what it is you're trying to do. And the first picture you need is that of the ball flight. That means I will imagine the ball flight in its height, in its speed, in its distance. I'll imagine the ball landing at my target. Once I've done that, I will then imagine in the third person myself making the swing. That means I will see myself as if I've made the perfect golf swing and the ball has flown and landed next to the flag. By getting this information, I'm telling my brain exactly what movement I want to make without telling it what joint's responsible for what movement. Finally, when I stand over the golf ball, ready to hit it, I've got to stop my mind from any other corruptive thoughts. And as we all know, it's exactly at this moment that you see the out of bounds, the water hazard, or remember a bad swing from the past. To stop this, I use a meditation technique they call Om. It's basically as if you were to speak the word Om in your brain where you're making the shot. When you actually say the word Om, you're actually creating vibrations which will go through your whole body. It will give you a little bit of the feeling as if your conscious mind were to leave the room for a moment and let you carry out the swing. You can start by practicing this and saying Om aloud. You will walk up to the golf ball, go through your routine, and in the final moment, before you hit the ball, you say Om. You should have hit the ball before you finish saying the word. I know this sounds a little esoteric, but in truth, this will help you to quiet your thoughts. Obviously, golf etiquette and often the people in your flight won't necessarily like you saying Om by every shot. It will remind them of the tennis players grunting and groaning during a swing. But you can do this also quietly in your own mind. Speak the word out to yourself while you hit the ball, and this will close your routine and allow you to swing without any conscious thought. Altogether then, I'm going to first decide on my club choice and swing choice based on weather conditions and the lie of the golf ball, the distance I am from the target. I'm then going to make a practice swing if necessary to give me an idea of the distance I'm going to hit it and the intensity of the swing, or just to loosen myself up. But finally, I'm going to go through an automated sequence of movements to hit the golf ball and an automated sequence of thoughts. Altogether, it should look like this. No conscious thought and a repetitive golf swing.